Fantasy Footballers Sunday Live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Sunday Live. It's your boy, Mike the Fantasy Hitman Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Thank you for joining me. What a delightful Sunday. Delightful Sunday. More injuries, more outs. But hey, that's why we play the game. We play for glory, not because it's easy. If it was easy, it wouldn't be fun. My best friend today, I regret saying that immediately. It's Papa Josh.
Well, we're always best friends.
We are trivia bros. We are men of the world, is what I will call us.
I agree.
So welcome in, everybody. If you've never joined me, thank you. Special shout out to you. If you're back, special shout out to you. Everyone gets a special shout out today. But here's how this show works. We go over the big news. We go into the big start-sit questions, and then I go directly to your questions. In the meantime, thefantasyfootballers.com, that's where the rankings are. Those things are being tweaked as I am speaking to you right now, taking in all the inputs, all the variables, trying to make our best projections to help you make the best decision for your lineup. Thefantasyfootballers.com, there's a start-sit tool on there, and if you want even more, you can help support the show. Jointhefoot.com. That's where you can get a subscription to the Foot Clan, where you get awesome stuff like our Ultimate Dashboard. The Start-Sit tool goes to 4, which the Ultimate Dashboard does a lot of that work for you, shows you how we would optimally set the lineup, gives you ideas on spot starts. Maybe someone on waivers is a better play for this particular week. Waivers on Tuesday, customized to your league. Just sync and go check it out. Really, really powerful stuff, and an extra podcast every week. So check that out, jointhefoot.com. Let's get into the news.
The big picture.
All right, for the Titans, it will be one more week without Will Levis. Does it matter? Does anyone care? I'm not so sure about that. Drake May, the rookie for the Patriots, he will be playing. He cleared the concussion protocol. Derek Carr is in, as is Jordan Love. But this is where we will pause because it is weather time, everybody. Welcome to the winter where the weather decides that it's going to screw everything up for us, for people who play football outdoors. It's hard to give you concrete advice on what to do with the Green Bay Packers. But from the sources that I am looking at, we're talking about it should be a wet game, lasting most rain lasting most of the game, and we could see some gusts of wind. The rain is not so much the big deal. It's the gusts of wind, combined with the rain, of course, combined with the fact that Jordan Love got knocked out last week with a groin injury. Jordan Love is shaping up to be a scary start, as would all the passing weapons be in this game. Look, there's so much fantasy goodness in this Detroit-Green Bay game, and with the weather where it is at, I'm going to have to give a slight bump down. That doesn't mean I'm benching Amon-Ra St. Brown or the running backs or anything like that, so don't go crazy with it. Just it's factoring into some of my decisions. Like I have Romeo. I was all ready to go just right back to Jordan Love, play Jordan Love, Romeo Dobbs stack. If you followed the podcast this week, I talked about Stafford. Well, I had to put some waiver claims in because I'm hoping that I have a different quarterback to play besides Jordan Love. I don't know if those went through or not. Maybe Papa Josh can let me know if I got a good quarterback or not. But that's just something to pay attention to. At the running back position, no, Bijan Robinson is not out. If you got an alert that B. Robinson was out, it's because that's Brian Robinson of the Washington Manders. He is out, so Eckler is up. And, look, hey, maybe some Sticky McNichols action. Who knows? Jonathan Brooks of the Panthers was ruled out. Just got word that he is expected to make his career debut next week. We'll be following that. Well, we got people slamming. Andrew Holloway's in the house, apparently, causing a ruckus. I'm live over here, brother. Why are you making so much noise? Tajay Spears is out while Tony Pollard is in for the Titans. So Tony Pollard's been a beast. The matchup it's okay. So Tony Pollard, I'm rolling with it. Zach Moss is out for the Bengals. Holy Chase Brown game. Let's see if he can take advantage. Travis Etienne is expected to play with Tank. He's not playing with Tank Bigsby. He is playing, and Tank Bigsby is also playing. That makes that a a very difficult decision. I think that we at the Footballers kind of agree with ETN. I'm just going to wait. If he has a great game on my bench, so be it, but I want to actually see it. And then a big one. Out of Cowboys camp, Ezekiel Elliott is a healthy scratch. He is apparently being punished for showing up to meetings late. I don't know, just overall being angry. Henry, he's not getting the play time he wants. So it's Dalvin Cook. It's Rico Dowdle in – not that theirs is the best matchup, but they are in the best fantasy environment of the week. That game against the Atlanta Falcons, an over-under of 52 points. Both teams have an implied team total north of 24 points. I want in on this game. Rico Dowdle, this doesn't make him an automatic start, but it does make a situation where I'm pretty excited for it. Like I had Brian Robinson. He was in the last-minute scratch. Rico Dowdle's moving in for me. What was that? Was that Pop? Were we trying to get Andy on the microphone over here? What are we doing over here?
Yeah, he's on.
You got to hold the button. You don't know how to do it.
Yo.
At the wide receiver position, Metcalf, Higgins, Amari Cooper, Juju, they're all out. Man, that Amari Cooper one, that one hurts. To go along with T. Higgins, Jermaine Burton is also out for the Cincinnati Bengals. So, look, Mike Gesicki's shaping up like a really, really good play. Yosivas, if you're desperate, of course. Then looking at the rest of them, look, Xavier Legette, he will play. Talking about the Jaguars, more news. Gabe Davis is not expected to play. It's an afternoon game. Meanwhile, Brian Thomas Jr. is listed as questionable. Everything I'm reading about it, it sounds like he's going to play, but it is an afternoon game. So you better have yourself insured. Puka Nacua, after all this week's drama that happened, that was fast and furious on a Halloween evening, he's expected to play. All right. And then Jalen McMillan and Sterling Shepard are listed as questionable. Jalen McMillan was kind of a late downgrade. Don't love seeing that. It's a Monday night matchup. I don't know if we need to be overly concerned about the weather for Kansas City, but reports are that it will be pretty rainy today and with some chances of rain tomorrow. So do with that what you will. I don't know that it's changing how I think about that game yet, but it's weather, and weather gets kind of crazy. Josh, is the computer ready for our questions? Like I said, thefantasyfootballers.com, that start-sit tool, very powerful, and we track it to see who are the hot players right now, because each and every week there's always a couple of players that really stand out, and they're very difficult questions, so let's get into it.
He's so hot right now.
All right, Papa Josh, who's hot? Who's not?
Whoa, Brian Thomas Jr., the man of the day. First one on this is Calvin Ridley or Brian Thomas Jr.?
Okay, so on top of Brian Thomas Jr. being questionable, possibly playing at less than 100%, well, guaranteed not playing at 100%, what percent is he at? I don't know. Ask the team doctors. The matchup is rough. On the road against Philadelphia, it's a sketchy situation. Calvin Ridley gets to take on the Patriots. It is Mason Rudolph, not Mason. I would play Calvin Ridley. Like, if we have any hope, it's the fact that Mason Rudolph force-fed Calvin Ridley the ball last week. I would expect that to be similar. I don't think we're going to get the same targets we got last week because that was wild stuff. But we can feel pretty secure that Mason's going to look for Calvin Ridley. Where, like, is Brian Thomas, is he just a decoy out there on the field and they're just going to scheme things to the running backs and Evan Engram? That is a possibility that we've run into before. So I would go Calvin Ridley. I'd take the sure targets of Calvin Ridley. Who's next?
All right, staying on this Brian Thomas Jr. question.
Of course.
Him or Jaden Reed?
Okay, I talked about my concerns for the rain game up there in Green Bay. Jordan Love scares me a bit, but Jaden Reed is not reliant on the deep shots. He can be that, but he's more of a short area, yards after catch. That could be in Jaden Reed's favor should they get him the ball. Look, if that field is wet and rainy, I mean, look at it wasn't wet and rainy, but that turf was bad in week 1 against Brazil, and if defenders can't react at the speed that they need to react against Reed, that could be a problem for them. So I'm going to go with Jaden Reed over Brian Thomas.
All right, how about Jaden Reed or Josh Downs?
Oh, man. All right, I think that Minnesota, you get it done through the air. We're all pretty excited about the return of Joe Flacco for the Colts for fantasy purposes of Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. I'm going to let the other variables sway me here. I'm going to play Josh Downs. I'm going to take the I think it's safer. And Josh Downs is he's good. And I think we have true upside here. We don't have, we don't have a ton of examples of what does this team look like with Flacco, Downs, and Pittman. But I think that they're all in, and they're all in, and I'm going to feel pretty secure about them. So I'm going to go Downs over Reed. That's wild. That's wild to be benching Reed, but you got to make that call.
All right, moving to the running backs. J.K. Two Legs or the man of Week 8, Tyrone Tracy.
Oh, gosh. So Tracy has cleared the concussion protocol, gets to play against Washington. Or J.K. Dobbins. Dude, it's been tough for Dobbins. Of course, these guys are right back-to-back in my rankings because that's how this works. If I had them both, I would be playing Tracy. Look, the concussion is not it's troublesome, of course, but it's not he has a leg problem where things they're not opening up for JK. Or I should say, I don't know if it's they aren't opening up or if he just is not able to take advantage of them. Like we've seen this with guys recovering from Achilles. Not Akers. Who did it? I think it was
Deonta Foreman?
Robinson. What was Robinson's injury for the Jags? I don't remember. But he came back and it was like, oh, he's okay-ish. But then it fell apart really, really fast. So I can't remember the exact specifics of that situation. But that's the point. We've been talking about that on the show of can Dobbins sustain this for the entirety of the season, because he would then be the guy.
Talking about James Robinson's debut where he had a big week 1 and then he collapsed after that?
Yes.
And looked terrible?
Yeah, and I thought it was an Achilles injury.
Oh, he was definitely Achilles.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. Robinson, we're like, oh, maybe there was nothing to worry about. You should have been worried about everything. So that's kind of where we are with Dobbins. He's not a bad play at all, but Tracy, look, when a rookie is doing things like Tyrone Tracy is doing right now and getting the workload that he's been getting, you stay in those flames because this is the upward trajectory where Dobbins is a fine volume play, but I'm going to play the young man here with the young fresh legs. Who's next, Josh?
All right, Rico Dowdle or Raheem Mostert?
Oh, that's a fun one. That is sketchy business.
While you think about it, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
With Zeke being out, disciplinary, maybe the end of the road for Zeke.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cook is up. Do you think that this team's going to give Cook an opportunity in this game in particular before making a return to Dowdle?
That's why I can't just full force recommend Dowdle for any of these questions. Look, I'm a maniac. I'm playing Dowdle. I don't know if that's the right process or if that's just me looking at my priors from before the season and I had mentioned it on the show, going into the bye week after the disaster that was 2 weeks ago for the Cowboys on the ground of Dowdle being sick, and then the other two guys they can't get anything done. So I was like, well, maybe after the bye week, they'll just turn it over to Dowdle. They will do the right thing for the team. Again, I'm not saying that Rico Dowdle is a superstar. I'm just saying he's the best option for this team, and they need to give him the ball. But they might give Dalvin Cook a chance. If they do, I think he fails horrifically. So eventually all roads point to Dowdle. But will it be this week? That I can't say for sure. It was Dowdle or Mostert?
Yeah.
Mostert has Buffalo.
Mostert is completely you hope that they get inside the 5 and that he's the goal line running back, like it was last week when he had 2 rushing touchdowns on very limited opportunities. Tua and this version of the Miami Dolphins, historically, they have struggled mightily against the Buffalo Bills, and they're on the road, right? Trying to just confirm that real quick.
You talking about Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the road in Buffalo.
Yeah, so it's even more of a bit of a downgrade for them. If I had the 2, I would take the risk and go Rico. Andy, would you play Rico here or would you play Mostert?
I'd play Mostert.
Okay.
Knowing he's getting the goal line. I would be curious if you'd play those 2 players or in a flex or Jaylen Coker with the opportunity in Carolina after last week.
Sure. Players like Jaylen Coker, it's very difficult, very, very difficult because, number one, it's still Bryce Young as the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. 2, he's just like, was that just a 1-week thing for Jaylen Coker and he just kind of popped? More sounds. Mohawk man, guys, I'm live streaming over here.
Still
just
got
banging doors around.
Jason. We're not focused over here. Thank goodness for that. We still got the Mohawk going on.
But if I have
wrong camera.
If I
don't know how to do this. I hit your name, but you're in my seat. Oh, this is good. Blurry deucers. There's Mike. There's.
Oh, it's chaos on a Sunday morning.
I had no part in any of this, Mike.
I'm playing the part of Josh in this scenario.
If I have those running backs, so I have that scenario. I have those running backs, and I have Jaylen Coker. I'm a wild man. I'm playing Rico Dowdle. But like a question more of Jaylen Coker here against the Saints or Raheem Mostert. I think I'm going to go Coker with that one. Look, we saw the beginning of last year. That's where you got to go back to. Bryce Young was not good. He was not a good quarterback. You know who was great for fantasy football? Adam Thielen, because Bryce Young didn't know what else to do.
I feel like you accentuated the dumb in Adam.
I was going to go old man Adam, but somehow the A sound came out and I had to bail out, and then I got stuck in between words.
Coker's undrafted, by the way.
Coker is a very interesting play this week. Him being a big slot type of a player, I think he might get hyper-focused on here by Bryce Young. But of those 3, again, I'd play Rico, but I'd play Coker over I'd play him over Mostert. Do we got any more hot players, Josh?
Yeah, one more in the running back category. Since Tyrone Tracy is the man of the hour here, him or the now confirmed in Tony Pollard?
I'd go. I think I'm still going to stick with Tony Pollard there. I mean, Tony Pollard he was coming into the week questionable, so if you want to have that make the decision. Also, let me pull up the totals here for the Patriots are they are dead last of the remaining games. We have a 38.5 point over under. The Titans are at about 3 touchdowns for their DK projection. And it was or Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll go Tracy there. I'll take the offense. The offense of Daniel Jones. I don't know what, guys, this is a problem. That's a really bad question for me to be answering. But I think I'd go Tracy if I have the 2 of them. They're very close to my rankings, like 2 spots apart. That's not a huge differentiator. So I would play Tracy if I had him.
All right, moving to the quarterbacks. Dak Prescott or Sam Darnold?
I'm going to take – Sam is my start of the week. I really like him against the Colts, but I would take the chance on Dak and hope that this game against the Falcons turns into what Vegas is expecting with that 52-point over-under. Maybe we get I think the Cowboys, it was like the majority of the games are hitting the over because their defense is just so bad. And we've seen Atlanta when Atlanta gets into these boxing matches, it happens and points just start flowing. So I'm gonna go with Dak.
One more quarterback question here. Kyler at home against Chicago
or Caleb Williams?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This is from someone else. Joe Flacco at Minnesota, and then Baker Mayfield at Kansas City. So Kyler at home, Baker on the road, Flacco on the road.
Baker is unfortunately the easy out for me here. Of the matchup is awful. It's on the road. Toss in the fact that we might have a sloshy field of some kind. Jalen McMillan is questionable. Sterling Shepard is questionable. So Baker has been on an unbelievable heater. It's not that he can't. It's just looking at probability and how much risk I'm willing to take on for my lineup, especially between those other guys. Flacco seems very safe in terms of 200 to 250 and 2. The issue for him would simply be Jonathan Taylor happens to snake all the touchdowns, and Flacco ends up with 300 yards and no touchdowns. Kyler against Chicago at home, I slightly lean Kyler for the ceiling play, but if you're looking at your matchup and saying, I just need some steady points, then Flacco would be where I would turn to. Is that it? Is that it for the hot players, Josh? Should we get over to the people?
We should get to the people.
Stardom, set 'em.
Oh, I see a comment here from Steven in all caps. You never walk away from a heater. Steven, I mean, in general, I agree with that. When the dice are hitting, you got to stay on board. But, oh, man, Snake Eyes is about to show up on Baker, I think, this week. If Baker does it this week, it's just you're not questioning Baker Mayfield the rest of the season. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Antonio wants to know, JSN or Worthy in a full PPR? Oh, being full PPR, I got to go with JSN there. Worthy, I brought him up on the show of since the bye week, the 8 targets. I think it was 8 targets 2 weeks in a row. So we could be on the upward trend, the post-bye week upward trend for the rookie for the Chiefs. But DK's out. I'm going to take the shorter receptions. Ceiling's probably not there for JSN, but I'm going to take him. Let's see. Alan wants to know Jordan Love or Kyler Murray. I would probably go with Kyler. Throughout the week, I was growing more okay with Jordan Love, but the weather up there has me concerned. Not that weather hasn't screwed decisions in the past where you're like, hey, this game's going to be awful with the weather, and then it's fine. But I'm going with the information I have right now. Let's see. The next question here is from Brian, who says, Calvin Ridley, Ladd McConkey, or Harrison Jr.? I like McConkey a lot this week, but I'm gonna stick with Marv and hope that the last week was the signal of things starting to turn around between him and Kyler. Next question. Homebrew says Matthew Stafford or Kirk Cousins. I'm gonna go Kirk Cousins in that one. Same reasons I laid out there for Dak Prescott. Next question is American Bruises says DJ Moore or Darnell Mooney. I don't know how you play Chicago Bears wide receivers with any type of confidence. Darnell Mooney is having a fantastic year. When the offense is rolling, Darnell Mooney is always a part of it. Meanwhile, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, the Bears are scoring points. I don't know where they're going. I don't think anybody knows where they're going. But DJ Moore is not being a part of it. I'm going to play Darnell Mooney over DJ Moore.
DJ Moore or J.K. Dobbins for our team, Mike.
It's our double flex, so because it's that far down, knowing our situation, I'm okay with DJ Moore, but J.K. Dobbins is probably outscoring him. But Dobbins doesn't have the ceiling. Sometimes you got to go for that ceiling. That would be DJ Moore versus Dobbins. Next question here is Kyler or Burrow. I'm gonna play Burrow in that situation. I know that the wide receiver crew is cut short, but don't worry. Mike Gesicki is here to save the Cincinnati Bengals, ladies and gentlemen. Up against the clock here. Oh, goodness. Jason Gaines says Gesicki or Fergalicious. Jake Ferguson in that delightful matchup. I think that the floor for Ferguson is safer, but if you need that tight end position to get you some serious points or a serious 0, then Mike Gesicki would be the play. Let's see. Dan Brand says Waddle or Mooney. Waddle's my dude, but I'm going to play Darnell Mooney in that situation. Okay, we'll get you out of here on this one. Again, thefantasyfootballers.com. That's where the rankings are. They will be tweaked up until right around kickoff. If I didn't touch on a player, you were hoping I would talk some process. I apologize, but go check that out. So last question here. We'll go Emilio says full PPR, Worthy or Shakir? I will take Khalil Shakir in that one. Amari Cooper is out. This team it's going to be Coleman and Shakir in the passing attack, and then Dalton Kincaid will get his 5 yards per catch for a measly 2 or 3 points because that's what he does. That's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Wish you nothing but the best and your enemies nothing but the worst. Have a good one. Remember to keep it beautiful. Mwah! Bye-bye.